Hello friends, back with another gameplay. We're into round 2 now. I'll be piloting Ertai Resurrected. This is a 3-2 with flash that allows me to counter spells or destroy creatures and or planeswalkers at the cost of allowing my opponent to draw a card. This is really a blue-black control deck, and we are up today against Atraxa Grand Unifier. This is a 4-color good stuff deck that can drop a 7/7 with flying, vigilance, death touch, and lifelink, and if it resolves, usually nets the controller a bunch of card advantage. So my goal today will be not to allow Atraxa to resolve. We have won the coin toss, so we will elect to be on the play, and hopefully we can come out with 2 wins. Our starting hand I am not a fan of, as we've only got 1 island, so we'll go ahead and mulligan. I like this hand much better, so we'll go ahead and keep this one, and let's go ahead and send Field of Ruin to the bottom of our library, as it doesn't help us fix any of our colors just yet. And then we'll go ahead and keep. Don't have anything to do with 1 mana, so we'll go ahead and play Castle Vantress, as it's going to enter tapped, and then we'll pass to our opponent. They'll open with a Hedge Maze, so this will reveal 1, keep whatever card it is on top, pass back to us, and we get into a True Name Nemesis. We've got 3 different 3-drops here. And I think we play our Drowned Catacomb, as it will also enter tapped, and then we'll pass to our opponent. They'll play a Flood Farm Verge, passing, oh, nope, and then they'll get into a Tameo, Inquisitive Student. Can't do anything about that just yet. And then we draw into a Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, another 3-drop. And with that, I think we play the Swamp into a Vendilion Click on our opponent after our opponent draws. I like that. So yeah, let's do that. We'll pass to our opponent, and then we'll go ahead and play the click, and they're going to counter that with a Wash Away. So that's unfortunate. I was hoping to be able to use it to prevent Tameo from attacking, but it looks like they'll attack and get a Clue token. They are tapped out, however. We draw into a Thoughtseize. I think we go ahead and play the Thoughtseize as well as the Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, just to prevent Tameo from attacking. Yeah, let's do that. We'll play Clearwater Pathway. Let's go ahead and play the Thoughtseize just to see our opponent's hand. They've got to Consult the Star Chart, Spell Snare, Flooded Strand, and a Mystic Sanctuary. So we need to be mindful of this Spell Snare. We don't have anything that costs 2 right now, but just to know that it's in their hand, and then they have some card advantage, potentially. Alright, I think we take the Consult the Star Charts. Yeah, let's do that. Leave the Spell Snare in their hand. And then we can go ahead and play Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, and we'll pass to our opponent. They get down a Scrub land and choose not to attack, passing back to us. We draw into a Force Spike, so I think we go ahead and get the True Name Nemesis down. We'll give it protection from our opponent, and then we'll go ahead and pass the turn. We do have Force Spike up. They'll play a Meticulous Archive, Surveilling 1, and they'll leave that card on top as well. And then we draw into a Tail's End, so that'll be good for if the game goes long enough. We can counter Atraxa, and I think we just ease out with some True Name Nemesis damage down to 17, and then we've got Archmage's Charm up for some card draw at the end of our opponent's turn if we don't need it for counter magic. So let's go ahead and play that. Target ourselves, draw 3 cards, or 2 cards I should say. We get into a Orcish Bowmaster and a Rewind, and then we draw into a Whispers of the Muse. Our opponent at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, so if they do get an untapped land next turn, they can play Atraxa. I think the right play here is to put out Orcish Bowmaster and leave Tail's End up. We can Whispers of the Muse at the end of turn if nothing else. Let's do that. So 2 for the Orcish Bowmaster. Oh, I forgot they had that Spell Snare. Yeah, that was a misplay on my part. Yeah, that's going to happen. And then we'll attack with True Name Nemesis, bringing our opponent down to 14, and then we'll pass the turn. They do get into an island, and then they'll attempt to cast Atraxa, so we'll go ahead and counter that with Tail's End, and she'll go back to the command zone. We draw into an Occult Epiphany. This is a great at the end of turn card, as it allows us to get a bunch of 1/1 Spirit. So I think we just attack with True Name Nemesis, and then see what our opponent does on their turn. They'll go ahead and sack a Flooded Strand, and get a Savannah, and then nothing. So at the end of turn, I think we go ahead and play this Occult Epiphany. Yeah, let's do that. Occult Epiphany for 3. Could be that they have a counterspell. They do. Mana Leak. So that's fine. Occult Epiphany to the graveyard. We draw into a Damnation, so good fail-safe if we need it. And I think we just go ahead and swing again with True Name Nemesis. our opponent down to 7 and then pass the turn. They'll play a Ponder to draw some cards and filter the top, and then a Dress Down. Creatures lose all abilities, and when it enters they draw a card. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this. So okay, it doesn't really affect play this turn, I don't think, except from them drawing a card. They're down to 2 cards, and then they'll play the Undercity Sewer, surveilling 1. Dress Down to be sacrificed at the end of turn, and I think we just play this Whispers of the Muse for a single blue. Draw a card, and we get into a Night's Whisper, and then we draw into a Watery Grave. The extra 1 mana may be useful. That'll leave us Force Spike and Rewind up, so I think we'll play this and pay the 2 life. Swing with the True Name Nemesis, and our opponent down to 4, and then we'll just pass to them. They're gonna Swords to Plowshares the Malcolm, and I don't really want them getting into more clue tokens, which is what that's going to allow them to do. So I think I'm gonna play Rewind now. That would leave up Ertai if I needed it, and keep Malcolm so that I can block with him. So let's go ahead and do that. Play the Rewind. Swords to Plowshares to be countered, untap 4 lands, and our opponent just to pass the turn. So we'll go ahead and draw into a Riptide Laboratory. This is great as it allows us to bounce Ertai back to our hand, so we'll play that as our land for turn. It gets us into 6 mana. Let's go ahead and draw 2 off of Night's Whisper. We get a Disfigure and an Underground River, and I think we need to leave 4 mana up for Ertai, so let's go ahead and just swing with True Name Nemesis. Puts us 1 turn away from the win. Atraxa down to 1 life, and we'll pass the turn. And here they'll play Atraxa. They do have 1 mana up, so Force Spike won't be effective, which is why I'm going to play Ertai. If they have their own Force Spike, I'll be sorry out of luck, but we'll try. Counter target creature, and Atraxa back to the command zone, so I think that's probably good game. We'll go ahead and draw into a Consider, play the Underground River as a land for turn, and then we'll just swing with everything. Tameo to block Ertai, the rest to get through, so that'll give us a game 1 victory. Ertai 1 up on Atraxa. 1-0 over Atraxa after game 1. Seeing as we won the first game, our opponent's going to elect to be on the play. I don't love this hand as we don't have a ton of counter magic, but we can get a little bit aggressive with the Borrowgoyf if we can get some more cards into our graveyard, and we do have 4 lands to get to Ertai, so this is definitely a keepable hand. Our opponent's open with the Gloom Lake Verge, and they'll pass to us. We get into a Spell Seeker, so I think we'll play the Prismatic Vista. That'll allow us to thin our deck just a little bit, and I want to get an island just because if we get into a Mystic Sanctuary, that could potentially help us get that 3 island count a little sooner. And with that, we'll pass to our opponent. Glacial Fortress from them, and they'll pass back to us. We draw into an Utter Insignificance. Good removal spell, and I think with that we'll just play the Gloom Lake Verge. Gives us Mana Leak and a Go for the Throat if we want it, and pass to our opponent. They'll play an Arid Mesa, sacking it to put out a Meticulous Archive, surveilling to the top of their library, and we have nothing to do with the 2 mana that's out there, so we'll draw into an island at the start of our turn. We're really supposed to be answering questions. That's one of the things I don't like about this deck. We'll go ahead and play Swamp for turn. I don't care for that. You kind of need your opponent to play stuff for you to be able to advance and get things on the battlefield. If I play the Spell Seeker, that takes away having Mana Leak up. We do have the lands to get to where we can play it and still leave Mana Leak up, so I think we just hang on to it for now. Borrowgoyf does allow us to get stuff back. We don't have any creatures in our graveyard just yet, so I think we need to be patient and wait. We'll go ahead and pass to our opponent. They'll play Undercity Sewers and surveil again to the top of their library, passing back to us. We draw that Riptide Laboratory again, which I'm a big fan of, so we'll go ahead and play that as land for turn. Now we've got both Go for the Throat, Mana Leak, and Utter Insignificance up, so we'll go ahead and pass, and they're going to play Akaya's Guile, exiling our graveyard and creating a 1/1. I don't really mind if they get rid of our Prismatic Vista and get a 1/1 out of this, so that's fine. That can happen, and we don't have anything else to do. I could have played Ertai there. Maybe that would have been a good play. Then I would have had a 3/2, and I could have bounced him back to my hand with Riptide. That was probably a misplay. Oh well, I don't think it hurts us too much, and oh, that was at the end of our turn. Oh yeah, no, I definitely wanted to play Ertai. I thought they were doing that for their turn. Gotta pay attention. They'll get into a Hedge Maze and surveil 1. This will go to the top of their library. Spirit Token to attack us for 1. We'll go down to 18, and then they'll pass the turn to us. Nothing to do at instant speed here, so it looks like we're just playing a back and forth of waiting for the other person to commit something to the board. And I think we go ahead and play a island. We'll get the Bargoyf out, and then we can maybe start milling ourselves and getting creatures from our graveyard. That would still leave us with Mana Leak, Go for the Throat, and Utter Insignificance. So I'm a fan of that play. And Wash Away is going to attempt to counter the Bargoyf. They're at 5, so next turn they would have 6 mana. I do want this Bargoyf to hit, so I think I'm going to Mana Leak this and cross my fingers that they don't get into something too heavy for us next turn. Bargoyf to hit the table, and then they're going to cut it down, so he'll get removed anyway. And then they'll pass, or we'll pass the turn to them. Spirit Token to attack for 1. They missed their land drop, and then we draw into a Fatal Push, and I think we just play a Swamp for turn. We could even use this Riptide to shoot, I really should have kept that Mana Leak for Atraxa. I've still got Ertai. Let's get the Spell Seeker down, and then we can start bouncing him with, or bouncing her with the Riptide Laboratory. So we'll pay 3 for that. That's gonna get remanded, so back to our hand. Fine, they'll draw a card. I don't have any counter magic, this is all removal, so I think I just play it again. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand, and this is gonna now get Mana Leaked. Ugh, rough. All right, Spellseeker can't pay for it, so it's gonna go to the graveyard, and we'll pass to our opponent. They get into a Prismatic Vista. They'll use it to get a Plains, and then the Spirit Token to attack us for 1. Ancient Cornucopia. What is this card? Whenever you cast a spell that's 1 or more colors, you gain a life for each of that spell's colors. Do this only once each turn. Add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so Atraxa's online, and they're going to gain 4 life whenever they play her. So I need to have Ertai up to block that. We draw into a Remand of our own. Let's go ahead and play an island. Going to be 7 mana. We have access to all of it reactive, so we'll go ahead and just pass to our opponent. Likely we'll be playing Ertai to counter Atraxa, but we will see. Spirit Token to attack for 1. We're down to 15. Misty Rainforest, they'll sack it and get an Underground Sea, and now they'll play Atraxa. So let's go ahead and play Ertai. They have 1 mana available from this Ancient Cornucopia that we're potentially needing to play around. Counter Atraxa. They'll still gain a life off the Ancient Cornucopia, and then we have the mana to bounce Ertai if we wanted, or I could just Fatal Push this Spirit Token. I'd like to just probably Fatal Push the Spirit Token, and then we can start swinging for 3. I really wish I had that Spell Seeker so I could just be using Riptide on that. Unfortunate. I don't know. I don't like leaving mana on the table either. I think we just Fatal Push this. Pay the 1. Spirit to be removed. We draw into an Underground Sea. We'll go ahead and play that for turn. Swing for 3. Opponent down to 17. And then they will cast Cling to Dust to exile something from our graveyard. They're going to get rid of the Spell Seeker and gain some life. And then they are going to play a Windswept Heath. And they are going to attempt Atraxa again. So we will bounce Ertai back to our hand. We'll recast Ertai. Counter target spell, counter Atraxa. So again, that'll hit. They will still gain some life, so they're up to 24, and then they'll pass the turn to us. We draw into a True Name Nemesis, so this will help us to accelerate the pressure. They're not going to be able to play Atraxa unless they get some kind of a ritual effect next turn. So I think we risk putting True Name Nemesis down and start whittling their life away. So, well, yeah, let's do that. 2, 3, True Name Nemesis, protection from Atraxa, and then we'll swing for 3 with Ertai. We do have a Remand up if nothing else. They'll cast Address down to gain a life. Doesn't really do much here. And then, gets rid of, I see. They're going to get rid of the protection effect. So I think we go ahead and remand this. That will put Long Goodbye back in their hand, but they won't be able to use it except for on nothing that we've got access to. So yeah, let's go ahead and remand this. Well, hang on. That's not going to do anything. They're still going to have the mana to play around that. So yeah, it's going to go through. Let's let that go through. True Name Nemesis back to hand. Wooded Foothills as a land for turn. And then they are going to sacrifice Dress Down at the end of turn and then pass to us. We could bounce Ertai, but I'd rather just leave him on the battlefield to be able to swing for 3. We draw into a Thoughtseize. Ooh, let's see. Would we have enough to play Ertai after using the Riptide? 1, 2, 3. We have just enough to get this Thoughtseize off and be able to use Ertai again with the Riptide Laboratory if we need to. So let's go ahead and play the Thoughtseize. Costs us 2. They've got a Drown in Sorrow and a Brain Surge, and I think we definitely get rid of the Brain Surge. Drown in Sorrow could get rid of Ertai, but we'll just bounce him in effect. So we'll get rid of the Brain Surge, and then we'll swing for 3. Our opponent down to 18, and then they're gonna escape the Cling to Dust to get rid of the True Name Nemesis, gain some life, and so they're back up to 22. And then they're gonna tutor up something. That's fine. And we'll go to our turn. We draw a Flooded Strand. Let's go ahead and crack it down to 12 life. I think I want to get the Undercity Sewer so that I can, well, maybe I want to get back a Mana Leak. I'm not sure. Let's play the Undercity Sewers. That'll allow us to surveil 1. The top card is Otawara, Soaring City. I think we'll put that in the graveyard. We need to get some card draw or something that helps us put some pressure on our opponent. Attack for 3. They're down to 20. That Ancient Cornucopia really helping them stay in this game. And then we'll see another escaped Cling to Dust, this time hitting the Barrogoyf. Dang, they've got 5 other cards in their graveyard. I didn't realize, I thought escape was a one-time effect, but you can use it as many times as you need to. That's cool. So they'll go up to 24 life, and now they have no cards in their graveyard, and they're gonna get rid of the Mana Leak in our graveyard with another Cling to Dust. And then they'll untap, and they're gonna attempt Atraxa again. I wonder if I remand this. No, I think I need to Rip Toward. I'm going to use the Laboratory again. Return a wizard to your hand. Laboratory back to hand. Then we'll play Ertai for 4. Counter a spell. We'll counter Atraxa. And then they're going to gain some life. They're up to 28. And we draw into a loose focus. So it's kind of hurting me that Ertai keeps on drawing them cards, because every time I counter Atraxa, they're drawing a card off of it. Fortunately, it probably is preventing them from getting even more cards, because Atraxa usually nets you a whole bunch of cards. But our opponent is going to play a Verdant Catacombs on their turn. They'll get a Scrubland, and again we'll see Atraxa hit the stack. I don't have anything else I'm doing with my mana, so I guess I'll use the Riptide again to bounce Ertai. Back to hand. Oh, now they're going to play Subtlety. It's Invoked Subtlety. So, spell or creature spell or planeswalker spell to put it on top or bottom. What are they going to target with that? Okay, I'm curious to see how this is going to work. When it hits, I don't really know what just happened. It feels like they just lost their Subtlety, because it wasn't a spell. It was already on the battlefield. So I guess that's a misplay of the CPU. Or if you know what happened there, just let me know in the comments. But we'll bounce Ertai back to our hand, and then we'll go ahead and play him again. Oh, wait, what? Oh, they put the Atraxa, I think, back on top of their library. Okay, well, I'm not going to even use this ability. Okay, that was weird. Alright, we draw into a Drowned Catacomb. I really wish we could get something to apply more pressure to our opponent, but we're going to just go ahead and swing with Ertai for 3. Our opponent down to 22, and they don't even attempt Atraxa. Okay, strange. Alright, we draw into a Cryptic Command. Alright, that'll help us counter something and draw a card, most likely anyway. Swing for 3 with Ertai. Oh! And then I win from commander damage. That's one of the downsides of Forge. They don't let you rule out commander damage, which I believe is not a thing in Duel Commander, but we'll take the win. Ertai 2-0 over Atraxa. Feels like I was likely going to win that game, as our opponent just continued playing Atraxa anyway. We kept on getting into more and more control options. I had 3 counter spells in hand, so I likely just needed to draw into something else to allow me to apply more pressure that could keep up with the Ancient Cornucopia, as Ertai was just kind of maintaining parity there.
YouTube thinks you'll like the video in the top right. Otherwise, you could check out one of the playlists on the bottom. If you liked the video, consider subscribing by clicking the button in the top left. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment with your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.